The station lights dimmed slowly, copying a night that no longer existed. Outside the wide windows, space stayed the same, dark, endless, silent. Inside, most of the crew followed the routine. Humans slept, machines hummed, and somewhere between metal walls and recycled air, fear quietly grew. Lieutenant Aaron Hale lay on his bunk, one arm hanging off the side, eyes half open. Sleep never came easily to him in space. He listened to the station like some people listen to rain, the soft vibration of engines, the distant click of cooling metal, the steady rhythm of life support. Then he heard it, a soft sound, barely there, like fabric, brushing metal. Aaron opened his eyes fully and turned his head. She stood in the doorway. Veshtal was tall, thin, and wrong in ways the human brain struggled to name. Her body was made of layered plates instead of skin, shifting slightly as she moved. Her eyes were wide and dark, reflecting light instead of creating it. She did not breathe the way humans did, but her chest still rose and fell in a slow, uneven rhythm. She did not speak at first. Aaron pushed himself up on one elbow. "You okay?" he asked quietly. Her translator took a moment, then her voice came out, flat but strained. "I am not safe." This was not the first time. 2 nights ago, she had come the same way. Silent, shaking, saying the same words. At first, Station Command thought it was a misunderstanding. Cultural stress, new environment. She was reassigned quarters, given softer lighting, different sound filters. None of it helped. Now she stood there again, plates trembling, eyes fixed on him like he was the only solid thing in the room. "Come in," Aaron said, moving his legs aside. She stepped inside slowly, like the floor might vanish under her. When the door slid shut behind her, her posture changed almost at once. Her plate settled, her movements slowed, the shaking eased. She lowered herself to the floor beside his bunk, not touching him, but close enough that her shoulder nearly brushed the frame. "I feel stable," she said. Aaron frowned. "Why?" he asked. Her eyes shifted toward him. "I do not know. Only that when you are near, the noise stops." "What noise?" She struggled, plates flexing. The inside noise, the sense that something is wrong, even when nothing is wrong. Aaron leaned back against the wall. He had no answer for that. "You can stay," he said. "I'll tell command in the morning." She made a sound that might have been relief. "Thank you," she said. "You are safe." That word stayed with him long after she went still. The next morning, medical scans showed nothing unusual. Veshtal's species had been studied for decades. Their nervous systems were different, but well understood. They were not fragile, they were not weak, and yet, over the next few days, the pattern spread. Another alien crew member requested transfer closer to human quarters, then another. A third refused to sleep alone entirely. Humans noticed something strange too. Aliens who spent time near them seemed calmer, more focused, less distracted. No one knew why. Station Command held meetings. Scientists argued. Psychologists reviewed old data and found small notes buried in reports. Nothing clear, nothing proven. Aaron did not attend those meetings. He was busy trying to sleep with a xenolinguist quietly resting beside his bunk every night. She never touched him, never crossed any line. She simply stayed. And every time she did, she slept. One cycle, during artificial night, the station's long-range sensors activated. A low alarm echoed through the corridors, not loud, not urgent, just wrong. Aaron sat up immediately. Veshtal's eyes snapped open. "What is that?" she asked. "Probably debris," he said, though his voice lacked confidence. The alert tone continued, steady and calm. which somehow made it worse. On the bridge, officers stared at the display. "There's nothing solid," one said. "No ship." No mass reading. Then what triggered the sensors? Another asked. No one answered. Across the station, alien crew members began to react. Some froze in place, others dropped tools, clutching their heads or folding inward. Their stress readings spiked without a clear cause. Humans felt it too, but differently. A pressure, a sense of being watched, an itch at the back of the mind. Aaron stood, pulling on his jacket. "Stay here," he told Veshtal. Her plates rattled sharply. "No." She rose quickly, moving closer to him than ever before. "If you leave, the noise will return." Aaron hesitated. "Come with me," he said finally. They stepped into the corridor together. The effect was immediate. An alien engineer crouched against the wall, shaking violently. As Aaron approached, the shaking slowed. When he stopped nearby, it stopped completely. The engineer looked up, eyes wide. "Human," they whispered. "Do not go." More aliens emerged from doorways, drawn by instinct rather than reason. They clustered around the humans moving through the halls like people gathering around a fire in the cold. Command noticed. "What the hell is happening?" someone demanded over the comms. No one had a good answer. The sensor alert changed tone. Not louder, closer. Whatever was out there, it was not metal. Not matter in any normal sense. It was something else. Something that made fear louder. Veshtal pressed closer to Aaron as the lights flickered slightly. "It is feeding," she said softly. "Feeding on what?" he asked. She looked at him. "On what we cannot turn off." Aaron felt a strange calm settle over him. His heart beat steadily. His breathing slowed without effort. Around him, aliens leaned in, their panic fading in his presence. He did not understand it yet. But the universe was about to learn something new about humans, and this was only the beginning. The station did not panic the way movies said it should. There was no screaming, no running crowds. Instead, there was silence, broken only by alarms and the low sound of breathing. Human and alien mixed together in tight groups. Aaron Hale stood in the main corridor outside the science wing. Around him, aliens pressed close to humans without asking, without shame. Some sat on the floor. Some leaned against walls. Others simply stood still, eyes closed, as if afraid that moving would break something fragile. Veshtal remained beside Aaron, closer than before. Her plates still trembled, but the shaking was lighter now, controlled. "It is nearer," she said. Aaron looked up at the ceiling as if he could see through it. "The thing outside?" "Yes. Can you explain what it is?" he asked. She paused, clearly struggling. "There is no direct translation. It is an echo. A memory that hunts, a pattern that eats patterns." Aaron frowned. "It feeds on fear." Yes, that answer traveled fast. Command ordered all humans to remain calm, which would have been funny if it were not so serious. Humans were already calm, or at least they looked calm. Inside, many of them felt uneasy. Some felt cold. Some felt angry. A few even felt afraid. But it was different from the alien response. Their fear did not grow in one direction. It moved, changed shape, mixed with thoughts of duty, jokes, stubbornness, and quiet refusal. Alien sensors recorded everything. Stress levels near humans dropped sharply. Brain activity stabilized. Panic loops broke. In places where no humans were present, the opposite happened. Dr. Fox prayed. Celine Morris watched the data scroll past her screen, eyes wide. She had studied xenopsychology for 20 years. Nothing she had learned explained this.
"This makes no sense," she whispered. Her assistant shook his head.
It does if humans are doing something we don't measure. What could that be? He hesitated. Existing. Across the station, Captain Ruiz made a decision that went against every safety rule. Pair every alien crew member with a human, she ordered. No exceptions. What if the humans? An officer began. They're already doing it, Ruiz snapped. We're just admitting it. The order spread. Humans opened doors, made space, sat on floors, shared bunks. Some complained quietly. Most did not. Aaron ended up in the central hub, sitting with his back against a support pillar. Veshtal sat beside him, plates brushing his arm now. Around them were 6 other aliens, all different species, all focused on one thing, staying near. The station lights dimmed further. Then something changed. The pressure in the air increased, not physically, but mentally, like a thought that did not belong to anyone. Several aliens cried out softly. Veshtal stiffened. It is testing us. Testing how? Aaron asked. It searches for weak signals. Clear fear. Clean fear. Aaron closed his eyes and focused on his breathing. Slow and steady. He was not trying to be brave. He was thinking about home, about rain, about old music, about how annoying the station coffee tasted. Around him, other humans did the same without being told. The pressure wavered. Then, for the first time, the station sensors picked up something clear. A shape. Not a body, not a ship. A distortion, like space itself, was remembering something it wanted to forget. It's confused, Dr. Morris said over the comms. Our readings don't match its expectations. What does it expect? Captain Ruiz asked. Simple fear, Morris replied. Fear that grows and feeds itself. Fear without contradiction. Ruiz looked around the bridge. Her crew sat calmly at their stations, jaws set, eyes focused. Yeah, she said quietly. That's not us. The entity pushed again. This time, it went deeper. Aaron felt it brush his thoughts. Not words, not images. Just pressure, probing for a crack. He felt fear then. Real fear. And right behind it came anger. Not wild anger, quiet anger. The kind that says no. The pressure pulled back suddenly. Veshtal let out a sound that was half relief, half disbelief. It recoils. From what? Aaron asked. From resistance, she said. Not force. Choice. The entity circled the station, searching for easier prey. Each time it pressed closer to areas without humans, alien panic flared. Each time humans moved in, the panic faded. After hours that felt like days, a pattern became clear. Humans were not blocking the entity. They were starving it. Dr. Morris stood before the command staff, exhausted but excited. It feeds on consistent emotional signals. Humans don't produce those. Our emotions overlap, interrupt, argue with each other. Captain Ruiz raised an eyebrow. You're saying we're too messy to eat.
Yes, Morris said.
And worse, when aliens are near humans, their fear patterns change too. Veshtal spoke up from beside Aaron. You teach us without meaning to. Silence followed that. What happens if the humans leave? An officer asked. Everyone already knew the answer. But the entity would feed. Captain Ruiz straightened. Then we stay. But protocol. Protocol doesn't matter if we're all dead, she said. All humans remain aboard. Spread out. Anchor every section. The order went out. Aaron moved with his assigned group through the lower decks. Aliens followed him like shadows, calmer with every step. The entity made one final attempt. It pressed against the station with everything it had, a wave of pure, focused fear meant to break minds. Humans felt it, and then they laughed, not loudly, not together, just small sounds, Nervous chuckles, dry humor. Someone muttered a joke over the comms. The wave broke. The entity unraveled, its feeding pattern collapsing into noise. Sensors went quiet. Space returned to silence. Hours later, the station rested in uneasy peace. Veshtal remained beside Aaron, watching the stars through the window. "You did not fight it," she said. "You simply refused to be what it needed." Aaron shrugged. "We've had practice." She tilted her head. "With what? Being afraid," he said. "And going on anyway?" She considered that. For the first time since meeting her, Aaron saw something new in her eyes. Not fear, respect. The station should have felt safe after the silence returned. But no one truly relaxed. Machines still worked. Lights stayed steady. Space outside looked empty again. Yet something had changed, and everyone felt it. Aaron Hale sat in the medical bay with a cup of warm water he had forgotten to drink. Around him, humans and aliens shared the same room, not because they were ordered to, but because no one wanted to be alone. Veshtal sat close, her plates calm, her posture steady. She had not left his side since the entity faded. "It is not gone," she said quietly. Aaron did not look surprised. "Well, you're sure?" "Yes, it is weakened, not destroyed. It does not understand what happened." Across the room, Dr. Celine Morris listened while reviewing brain scans. Alien neural activity was still elevated but stable. Human readings showed stress, fatigue, and something else she could not easily name. "You're right," Morris said. "It's still there, just there." Farther away, Captain Ruiz entered the bay, her face tired but focused. Long-range sensors confirm it's drifting at the edge of the system. No movement toward us. "For now," Morris said. Ruiz nodded. "That's the problem. It learned something better." "What?" Aaron asked. "That we're dangerous," Ruiz replied. The word felt strange in the quiet room. Veshtal shifted slightly. "It will adapt." Morris looked at her. "How do you know?" "Because it must," Veshtal said. "Or it will starve." The station entered a strange new routine over the next cycle. Humans were reassigned across all decks, not as guards or soldiers, but as anchors. Wherever alien crews worked, humans worked nearby. Wherever aliens rested, humans rested too.
No one called it protection, but that was what it was. Now,
Aaron found himself stationed in the observation ring with engineers, diplomats, and scientists from 5 species. They spoke less than usual. When they did, it was calm, careful talk. The stars outside shifted slowly as the station adjusted its orbit. Then the dreams started. Humans reported vivid dreams, not nightmares exactly, but intense memories, old fears, old failures, things long buried. Aliens experienced something different. They dreamed of silence. Veshtal described it one cycle while they sat together, watching maintenance drones float past the window. "In my dream," she said, "there was nothing pressing against my thoughts. No signal, no warning, just quiet." Aaron smiled faintly. "Sounds nice." "It was terrifying," she replied. Morris later confirmed the pattern. The entity is trying something new. It's no longer attacking directly. It's influencing sleep states, testing reactions. Ruiz crossed her arms. "Is it working?" "For aliens," Morris said, "the absence of fear is unfamiliar. It destabilizes them. For humans," she hesitated. "For humans," Aaron said, "it just brings up old stuff." Morris nodded. "You've lived with fear long enough that removing it feels wrong. You don't trust it." That night, the entity moved closer. Not fast, not loud, just close enough for everyone to feel it. The station lights flickered once. Alien heart rates spiked. Humans woke from sleep at the same time, instincts sharp. Aaron stood in the corridor as people gathered again without orders. Veshtal pressed close, but this time she was not shaking. "It is afraid," she said. "Of us?" Aaron asked. "Of your unpredictability." The pressure returned, different now, less heavy, more focused. The entity tried to copy human fear. It failed. Human fear did not stay still long enough to be copied. It changed into frustration, humor, planning, stubborn silence. Someone whistled softly. Someone else muttered, "Not today." The entity pushed harder. Aliens stumbled, overwhelmed by sudden emotional swings. Humans reacted instantly, forming groups, speaking calmly, placing hands on shoulders, grounding without thinking. Aaron felt the entity brush his mind again, deeper this time. It touched memories of loss, of helplessness. For a moment, his breath caught. Then Veshtal spoke. "Stay," she said, just that one word. It pulled him back. He exhaled slowly, grounding himself, and the pressure broke again. The entity pulled away sharply, its signal fracturing. Morris stared at her screen in disbelief. It's damaging itself. Every time it probes humans, it destabilizes. Ruiz's eyes narrowed, because it's not built to handle conflict inside a single mind. "Yes," Morris said. "It expects fear to grow, not argue with itself." The entity drifted again, weaker than before, but not gone. Command from Earth finally responded. The message was clear and cold. Evacuation was authorized. All humans were to be removed first. Ruiz stood on the bridge, staring at the message long after it ended. "That will kill them," she said quietly. Morris nodded. "Without humans, alien panic will spike. The entity will feed and recover." Aaron was present when the announcement reached the lower decks. Silence followed. Then someone laughed. A tired human engineer shook his head. "Figures. Aliens reacted differently." Veshtal turned to Aaron, her eyes wide. "You will leave?" He looked at her. "No. You will disobey?" she asked. He smiled slightly. "Yeah." Ruiz addressed the crew soon after. "Earth wants us to save ourselves," she said, "but we don't leave people behind. Not like this." No one argued. The evacuation order was ignored. Humans spread out even further, making sure no alien was alone. Some stayed awake on purpose. Others told stories. Some simply sat quietly, breathing. The entity made one last attempt. It focused everything on a single section of the station, trying to isolate it. Aaron was there. The pressure hit like a wave, stronger than before. Alien crew members cried out, collapsing inward. Aaron stepped forward. He did not shout, he did not fight. He simply stayed. He felt fear rise, and then felt something else rise with it. "Resolve," the entity screamed, not in sound but in signal, tearing itself apart trying to understand something that refused to be simple. Then it vanished. Not drifting, not retreating. Gone. The silence afterward was real. Deep. Clean. The station held its breath. Then alarms stopped. Light steadied. Alien panic faded completely. Veshtal looked around slowly, disbelief spreading across her features. "It is gone," she said. Morris confirmed it moments later. No signal. No echo. Nothing. Relief moved through the station like a soft wave. Humans slumped where they stood. Aliens wept openly, not from fear, but release. Veshtal turned to Aaron. "You stayed," she said. He nodded. "So did you." She considered that, then placed one hand gently against his arm. a gesture she had never made before.
You are not fearless, she said.
You are enduring. Aaron smiled, exhausted. Yeah. That sounds about right. Outside the window, space remained dark and silent, but it no longer felt hungry. The station entered recovery mode, but recovery did not mean rest. Machines could reset quickly. Living minds could not. Aaron Hale stood near the observation window, watching a maintenance drone repair a scorched sensor array. The damage was minor, but it reminded everyone how close the station had come to breaking. Around him, life slowly returned to routine. Slowly, because no one trusted silence yet. Veshtal stood beside him, as she often did now. She no longer trembled. Her plates held steady, shifting only when she moved. The absence remains, she said softly. Aaron glanced at her. The thing is gone. Yes, she agreed. But its shadow lingers. But my species remembers predators, long after they die. That makes sense, he said. Humans do that too. She looked at him with interest. Is that why you were able to resist it? Aaron thought for a moment. Maybe. We expect things to go wrong. We don't trust peace right away, Doctor. Celine Morris approached them, a tablet tucked under her arm. Her face showed exhaustion mixed with excitement. We're still seeing effects, she said. Positive ones. Like what? Aaron asked.
Alien neural patterns are changing, Morris replied. Exposure to humans during high stress has altered how they process fear.
They're adapting. Veshtal tilted her head. We are learning endurance. Morris smiled. Yes, and humans are learning something too. What's that? Aaron asked. That you're not just survivors, Morris said. You're stabilizers. Emotional anchors. The word felt heavy. Command from Earth sent another message, this one very different from the last. There was no anger, no threats, just questions. Reports were requested, data, explanations. Ruiz answered them all. Carefully, the station council, made up of representatives from multiple species, gathered for the first time since the crisis ended. The room was quiet, filled with tension and curiosity. Veshtal was asked to speak. She stood, plates catching the light, and addressed the council. We believed fear was a weakness, she said, something to be controlled or erased. Humans do not erase fear. They carry it. Murmurs spread. They argue with it, mock it, sit beside it. They do not let it decide who they are. She turned slightly toward Aaron and the other humans seated nearby. When the predator came, it did not understand this, and so it starved. One of the elder delegates leaned forward. Are humans now considered weapons? Silence fell. Aaron felt his stomach tighten. No, Veshtal said firmly. They are not weapons. Weapons are pointed. Humans simply remain. That answer was recorded. Across the station, subtle changes took place. Aliens began choosing to work near humans even when no danger existed. Humans noticed and adjusted without comment. Extra chairs appeared. Shared meals became common. No orders were given. Trust formed quietly. But not everyone was comfortable. Some humans struggled with the attention. Being needed in that way was heavy. Old fears surfaced. Doubts. What happens when we're not there? One engineer asked, late one cycle. Are they helpless again? Morris answered honestly. No, they're changing, learning. But change takes time. And us? The engineer asked. What does this make us? No one had a good answer. That was when the second signal appeared, not the same as before. Smaller, fainter, a ripple at the edge of detection. The room froze as sensors confirmed it. It's not the predator, Morris said quickly. Different structure, different pattern. Ruiz crossed her arms. Then, what is it? Something that noticed, Morris replied. The implications settled heavily. Word spread fast. The universe had seen what happened. Veshtal found Aaron later, in the quiet hours when the station lights were low. Others will come, she said. Like it did? He asked. Not to feed, she replied. To understand. Aaron exhaled slowly. That might be worse. Yes, she agreed. Understanding can change things. The station council met again. This time, the question was not survival. It was identity. Humans were reclassified, not as baseline species, not as combat assets. A new designation was proposed, psychological stabilizers. Aaron did not like the sound of it. Feels like a job I didn't apply for, he muttered. Veshtal heard him. You do not have to accept it, she said. He looked at her. Would you feel safe if we left? She was quiet for a long moment. No, she admitted, but I would survive. Because of what I learned from you, that mattered more than any title. The faint signal outside never approached fully. It observed, then withdrew. As if satisfied, the station slowly returned to normal operations, though normal had a new shape now. Humans still slept poorly. Aliens still stayed close. But fear no longer ruled the dark hours. One night, Veshtal did not come to Aaron's bunk. He noticed immediately. The next cycle, she returned, not out of panic, a choice. I no longer need to be here, she said, but I wish to be. Aaron smiled, a quiet, tired smile. That's different. Yes, she agreed. That is trust. Outside, the stars continued their endless motion, and somewhere far away, something watched humanity with caution, not as prey, but as something new. Something that stayed. The station no longer felt like a place waiting to be tested. It felt lived in. Aaron Hale noticed it in small ways. Doors stayed open longer. Lights were left a little warmer. Conversations carried on instead of ending quickly. Fear had not vanished, but it no longer owned the quiet hours. Outside the windows, stars slid past as the station resumed its slow journey. Inside, people, human and alien, learned how to exist together after something had tried to unmake them. Reports went out to every major council and fleet. They were careful reports, honest, but measured. No one wanted to turn humans into legends or tools. The facts were strange enough on their own. Humans did not block fear. They changed it. Other species did not suddenly become fearless. But they learned that fear did not have to be a straight line leading to collapse. Near humans, fear bent, broke, rested. That lesson spread. Training protocols across multiple systems began to change. Mixed crews were no longer a risk factor. They were encouraged. Human presence was no longer optional during long deep space assignments, not because humans were stronger, because they endured. Aaron attended the final debrief in a small, quiet room. Captain Ruiz sat at the head of the table. Dr. Morris stood beside her, tired, but smiling. You'll be reassigned soon, Ruiz said. All of you. Anywhere specific? Aaron asked. Ruiz shook her head. Everywhere, Morris added. You won't be asked to fight. Just to be present. Aaron leaned back in his chair. That might be harder. Ruiz smiled faintly. You've already done the hard part. Veshtal waited for him afterward near the observation ring. She watched the stars with a stillness that once would have meant tension. Now it meant peace.
They are sending you away, she said.
Eventually, Aaron replied. The station won't need us forever. She turned to face him. I know. They stood in silence for a while. I used to come to your resting place because I feared the night, she said. Now I come because I remember surviving it. That's Good, he said.
Yes, she agreed. But there is something I must say.
He waited. When I first told you I felt safe only with you, I believed it was truth, she said. Now I understand it was incomplete.
Incomplete how? I felt safe because you did not demand that fear disappear, she said. You allowed it to exist without control.
That taught me I could do the same. Aaron swallowed.
I'm glad.
So am I. The day came when the last data packet was sent and the last sensor calibrated. The station was declared stable. The universe, at least for now, was quiet. As humans began transferring out, something unexpected happened.
Aliens did not retreat. They did not panic.
They waved, they spoke. They continued working. They had learned. Veshtal watched Aaron prepare to leave. You will not stay, she said, not as a question.
No, he said gently, but I'll visit. That is enough, she replied.
Before he stepped onto the transport, she placed her hand against his arm again. Steady, certain. You helped us survive the night, she said.
We will remember. The transport doors closed. As it pulled away, Aaron looked back at the station, small against the dark.
For the first time, he did not feel like he was leaving something fragile behind. Far away, beyond charts and known routes, signals traveled. Other minds had noticed the disturbance, the disappearance, the strange pattern that did not end in consumption. They searched the records, studied the data. Fear-based entities learned caution. Predators adjusted their paths, not because humans were dangerous, but because humans were unpredictable in a way hunger could not solve. Months later, on a different station, a human technician noticed an alien child sitting alone in a corridor, trembling at the artificial night. The technician did not ask questions. He sat down nearby and hummed softly. The trembling slowed. Elsewhere, a human pilot shared a quiet meal with an alien navigator during a long jump. No words were needed. The silence held. Across the galaxy, the pattern repeated.
Humans did not bring peace.
They brought space to breathe, and in that space others learned how to stand on their own. Back on the original station, Veshtal stood by the window one last time before beginning her next assignment. She no longer needed anyone beside her, but she remembered what it felt like to choose to stay. She watched the stars and felt no pressure, no noise, just motion. And somewhere, far away, Aaron Hale slept deeply for the first time in years, unaware that the universe had quietly changed its understanding of humanity. Not as conquerors, not as saviors, but as the ones who stayed when fear knocked and did not open the door.